All right, so like we were trying to establish, I was telling us that we are focusing on Excel intermediate functions, which are also part of Excel statistical functions that can be used to perform exploratory analysis on a given data set, just like the one we have on the screen. So I don't think this was the data set we're actually working with. So let me just take us through the data. I think it's the same, right? Is it the same?
No, no.
It's not. Okay, so as our standard, when we are given different data, we need to take few minutes to understand the data. So this is also a sales inventory data with ID and the region, country, item type. This is equivalent to the type of products they deal with. And then this is sales channel where they have at least two different channel of their sales. Then we have a order priority, which are categorized into different different letter
Alphabet.
alphabet. Then we have order date item we order. So this date format, we will need to clean it because this is not the right date format. Then we have order ID. So each of the order was assigned an identification number. Then we have unit sold, we have unit price, we have unit costs, we have total revenue. Then we have total profits. Then we have total cost. So all these are probably some analysis that I was trying to perform. So let me just clear these formats. All right, so most of our analysis will be based on summarizing total profits against maybe either country or item type or sales channel or even region. So let's see how we can apply the Excel intermediate exploratory functions. Remember that, I don't know if I've mentioned them, please check. Have we mentioned them? I've only given us
Mention.
the definition. I think I only gave you the definition, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's look at the example of this set of functions. Then we'll start taking them one after the other and see how we can use them to answer valid analysis question, focusing on this data. Now, remember that we need to create a different sheet, which is going to act as our analysis dashboard. So I can name this analysis dashboard. So which means that an interface set aside just to display your insights, which will facilitate positive decision making. Now, once we have done that, like I said, we are looking at sum if. So you can see that the one we did last time was just sum. Now we are adding if, that is if. And of course, we know that if is a conditional statement, is under probability. So that is why I told us that this set of functions we want to look at, they are only needed when only one criteria is needed for analyzing data or performing exploratory analysis on your given data. Particularly, most time we use them on the business data, financial data. This is where we use more of this set of function. So that if there is a conditional statement, so that is the first one. And then let me just list them before we start taking them. So we have the sum if, we have the sum if function, we have the count if function, and then we have the average if. We have the average if function, and then finally we have the just if function. So these are the set of functions that we want to look at that are under the intermediate exploratory function. So let's start taking them one after the other. So I will start with the sum if. Now, the way we are going to learn them is that we are going to blend them. We are going to see how we will derive a kind of analysis questions, and then we will see how any of those functions can come in to be of solution to us. So let's look at this data. Like I said, I'll be focusing on total profits, and I can pick on any of these string header, like the country, the item type, or any of this, or channel. So let's say we want to work with item type. We want So like I was saying, we want to see how we can summarize. So I want you to look at the definition first, and then we will now coin analysis question that can match with the application of each of them. That is the best way you learn them as a data analyst. I hope you are with me. Please,
Yes, sir.
okay. So the general definition of the sum if. So the sum if function is an example of a cell intermediate statistical function used for summarizing values in a given data, used for summarizing values in a given data, where a single criteria or condition is required, where a single condition or criteria is required. I hope you have gotten that. Let me find that before I proceed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the condition there is what? Only when a single criteria is needed. Now, let's construct analysis question that will require adding or summarizing values here. Summarizing value here. So I can see that here we have added some, let me format the whole of this. I want to remove the narrow sign. Like I've done some analysis on this data. So let me just clear the format and return it to neutral data. Okay. So these are the collated total profits. So our analysis question now, I want you to write it down. Our analysis question that will lead to the application of the sum if that I just defined now will be analyze the total profits based on the item type. Analyze the total profits either based on the item type or per item type. I hope you have gotten the question. Summarize
Yes.
or analyze the total profits per what? Item type. Now, if you look at that question, remember some time ago we talked about dependent variable and independent variable. Can you still remember?
Yes, sir.
Good. So we are going to apply that concept here now. We need to identify which one is depending on the other. So if you look at the question will always inform you which one is depending on the other. The question says we should summarize total profit per. So you can see that directly total profit summation depend on the selected what? Item type. So in other words, the total profit is depending on what? The item what?
The total
Type. Good.
type.
So we need to get that understood. Now, Based on that, we are going to create what we call analysis table within our analysis dashboard. So a dashboard is an interface with the collection of two or more words, analysis table, and each of these analysis table, they are presenting different insights that we must have derived from the data. So see how I am going to design the analysis table in my analysis dashboard. So I am going to take the whole of
The,
this.
the internet is breaking, as in your voice is breaking.
Okay, so can you hear me now? Let me confirm that before I proceed. Is it clearer now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like I was saying that we need to start by creating analysis table. And I said the analysis table is like a model. It's like a it's like a construct. It's like a container that we use in presenting our finding or insight derived from a data set. And that analysis table should be within your analysis dashboard. Now, based on the question, that question informed me that I need to mention the unique item types in my dashboard so that I can now summarize the total profit against each of those unique items. I hope you are getting me now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how do I do that? I have to, ordinarily, I'm supposed to come here and start what? Typing them. I'm supposed to come here and start typing them, but I can use different logic to achieve this. The issue is that we have multiple words, unique item type. We have baby food, we have cereal, we have office supply, we have food. So where they are much like this, it's better you copy everything and remove duplicates. Because if you attempt to pick them one after the other, the challenge you might have is that you may not type the B with capital letter. And by the time we start constructing the function will now detect that the criteria word does not exist in the criteria range. So for that, to avoid that kind of challenge, what you do is that you come back to your dashboard. To start with, you design your dashboard. Your dashboard must look interactive. The beauty of data analysis is within what? Ability to create, fancy dashboards that are communicating, dashboards that are dynamic. So the first thing I'm going to do, if somebody gets to this particular dashboard, I just need a situation whereby he or she will know at a glance what is this sheet all about. So I'll go to my insight. I think we've done something like that before. From my insight, and then I will go to a shape. I'll go to shape section. I'll go to shape, and then, or in fact, let me just go to word art first so that I can write the title of this sheet. So the title, I will label it analysis dashboard. Analysis dashboard. Analysis dashboard. So I will centralize it, in other words, position it in a way that it will cover the entire insight you are going to present under it. So I can fine-tune the appearance of this word because this is dashboard. Dashboard need to be designed. So, and you must have a color scheme, the set of colors that you are working with. You are not expected to use too many colors when you are designing your dashboard. So make it very simple. Let it be user friendly. So I will choose, let's say I'm working with just two colors. I'm working with just two color. So I can come to text color, text field, and choose this. And then after that, I would like the whole of this section, the top section, to be painted with a solid feel so that the grid line will not distract the write-up on it. At the same time, that is going to form a design. So I just want it to be simple like this. And then my insight, my analysis table will now come in here. So I will go back to the data set and lift or copy the whole of this. Now, if you click on the letter D with the intention of copying everything, you are going to face a challenge. The challenge you are going to face is that you are going to run out of what? Range. So to do that, to avoid that, just select, don't select like this. Select it manually like this. Click on the first cell, hold down the control and the shift, and then press the down arrow button, which automatically selects everything you have in that column. I believe we have learned something like this before. Then I will now hit my Control C to copy it and then switch back to your dashboard. So I would like it to start from here. I'm leaving this space in case I want to perform some card analysis or what we call single metric analysis. But this one that we want to do now is classify under comparison or categorical analysis. So by the time I have taken care of the metric, you understand what I'm saying. So I will define that I want to paste the information I copied from here. So I can just select some range of cell and press Ctrl V. So you can see that I have automatically copied all the item type. But my motive is not to have all of them listed here. My motive is that I am designing analysis table, which I am going to use to present my findings, my insights. So I just need per item to be represented here. So in other words, I don't need baby food here. I just need one baby food to represent all the transaction that has to do with what? Baby food in the data set. I hope you are following me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for me to remove other baby food and other repeated entry, so I will have to select the same thing, select everything, then go to your data tab and then click on duplicate remover. So once you click on this, Excel will prompt you a dialog box notifying you that yes, I have detected values, duplicated value in a particular column that is titled item type. You will now agree with Excel. Once you agree, which is correct, I will just click on OK. So I have gotten a feedback that says that 89 duplicate values found and removed, and I end up having just 12 unique values. That is a valid analysis question that can be answered. The owner of the company or the data can ask you to find out from the data how many unique products are they dealing with. So that has given us that insight. Let's assume that is part of our analysis goal. So once you have achieved this, then you need to make sure that you enhance this. This is the heading. So I'll make the appearance of this look different from the values. So I'll just come to my shape field. Then remember that I'm working with this color. So you can see that I'm trying to make sure that I calculate my color. So despite that we are using what color, we can complement it with what we call a primary color, which sometimes are not counted, white and black. So I will use white in order for me to see this. Then I can enhance it. I can make it more visible. And then I have titled that. Now, my analysis is that I'm to summarize total profit. Remember, that is the task. That is the analysis question. We are to summarize all the values here based on any of the unique product or item type selected. So which means that I need to create a column where that will be outputted. So I will label this column total sum. I will label it total sum. Total sum. Then I need to also format it the same way I formatted the other field. So I'll click here and then come to your home tab. Remember, I must have taught you this. Click on Format Painter. So what that does is to replicate the style of this on any selected cell. So I just did that just to fast track the entire process. So what are we developing now? This is my analysis table. And like I told us, it's a model that is expected to show us the insight, what and what we have derived, what are the insights you have drawn from this data. So that is why we are designing this. Now, I will now come here and enter the function. So this is the implementation of the sum if now. Remember, we are supposed to write the question. The question is, so I can decide to merge these cells together and put the question here. So, and I'm also conscious of designing my dashboard. There's a reason why I did not start from here, because I want the question to follow the same word length if possible. So let me highlight just this. I just want it to be at the top and then merge this set of cells. I believe I must have taught you something like that. And then what is the question? The question is at what? Summarize. You can change your question. You can shorten it. Summarize total profit per item type. That is the question. So I will also need to format it to make it look readable and presentable. I'll come here also and I can decide to, I want to make sure that I'm working within. Let me see if I give it the same background and then I give it white, that we go. Okay, so that is not too bad. So now I can highlight also and make it more visible, and if possible, I can increase the size a little. Now, we'll now come in here and perform the analysis for the first item, which is baby food. And I will activate the function sum if. Sum if. Remember, I told you that sum if is when you are summarizing value with one criteria. Now, what is the criteria here? The criteria is what? Based on the selected item. It's just one criteria. We are to add all the values in the total profit. In fact, we need to change this to total profits. So the question is descriptive. We don't need to say total sum. So let's just say total profit at once. All right, so I need to increase this. Then equals to sum if. I hope you are still with me. That equals to sum if. Now, I want you to take note of the function syntax. The syntax is that there are required parameters. There are required inputs. In other words, you need to give the function certain data to work with. And if you look at this very well, you see that the syntax is that the range. The range is you defining where the criteria that will be used to summarize the values under the total profit are or is. Did you understand that? Let me get a feedback from you. I just want to know if you are with
Yes,
me.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that is the range. Now, if you look at the question says summarize the total profit per item. So which means that what? The range where the condition for the summation is what? Item type. So that range means you go back to the data set and capture all the cells under what? Item type. Now, because I told us that we are to analyze to accommodate future what? Entry. You know, if I select it like this, if I click on the first cell and I hold down the control and the shift, and then I press the down arrow, what is going to happen is that we end up, that is, if there is any entry tomorrow, that entry is not going to be what? Captured, because you stop your selection here. So the best thing we can do is to extend it. That is, it should select all the cells in this column. It should select all the cells in this column. That is, so that tomorrow it will create room for the new entries. I hope you are getting me. Are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
for me to, instead of me selecting it manually, where you want to select everything, both the cells that are used and the ones that are still empty, waiting to receive their value tomorrow, and the value will contribute to the analysis automatically. You click on the letter that represents that column, which is letter D. So just selecting that letter D, you have automatically selected. If I should go down, you can see that what? You have captured the entire cell in that column. Now, once you have done
Yes.
that, you put a comma. So that is the range. Now, the moment you add your comma, you can see that the range section is no longer active. Now we have just what? The criteria. So the criteria is what you have mentioned in your dashboard table, which is what? Baby food. I hope you are still getting it.
Mm.
So what you are saying
Yes,
now,
sir.
what you are saying is that you have to capture the range where you will pick the criteria. So had it been we have not captured the range, had it been we have not captured the range, and we come here to pick this baby food, is going to be invalid because a cell will not tell you that I can't find it within the cell. So now we need to give the sum numbers to add up. We need to give the what? The we need to give the function numbers to add up, because the number sum cannot add up text. It can only add up what? Numbers. And the number is what you mentioned as what? Total profit. So what we have done so far is just to acknowledge the criteria range and the criteria. Now, you now want to call the values that will be added once this criteria is met. So you put your comma and then go back to the data set. This time around, you are capturing what? Total profit.
The
Now,
total
to
profit.
also create room for tomorrow, you click on the letter that represents it instead of highlighting it from here. Now, you press your enter. Remember, it's one condition function. So we have given the one condition. So now you don't go back to your dashboard to press enter. So you press enter once you are done picking all the what? The criteria range and the criteria. So if I hit enter now, you can see that what? It has outputted the result. So as a data analyst, how do you now interpret this? This is the total profit generated from the whole country where baby food was sold. Did you understand that? That is
Yes,
what.
sir.
Now you will now autofill, because you don't have to go and do the same thing for this, for this, for this, for this. So the function is sensitive enough to know that once you have derived an answer for the first one, you can double click on this dotted edge. It will perform the calculation for the rest.
Wow.
Are you getting it now?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
now your work as a data analyst does not stop here. Does not stop here. Because remember, what we call executive report. What we have done here is your technical skill display. You must be able to explain your outcome in a non-technical way, because the stakeholder you are probably what the stakeholder you are analyzing this data for, I am very sure that they will not understand it. So you have to simplify it. And the way you simplify it is to tell them you to go to your PowerPoint or Microsoft Word or whichever, maybe if your note, you write your observation. So at the end of each analysis, as a data analyst, you must write down your findings, your observation, and where recommendation is needed, you need to also define it. So let me show
Mm.
you what we are going to do here. Now, like here now, I am supposed to go to PowerPoint and write, after analyzing the summary of the total profit against each of the unique item, I discovered that baby food has the highest profit, then followed by this, and the least among them is this. So you must point out the highest, the one that follow, and the least, because when they want to make decision, they can use these statistics to make effective decisions. So you shouldn't just point out the highest, because they need to know what we call the range, the difference between the highest and the lowest. And that will now make them to settle for the average. So, but it is very challenging for us to what? To factor that out when your values are presented in a tabular model. This is a tabular model because this is
Okay.
a two-dimensional what? Array of data, vertical and
Mm.
what? Horizontal. Now, if
Mm.
you are using this method for you to identify what we call trend, remember when we started, I told you that what, as a data analyst, each time you analyze data, there are three things you are looking for. And if you cannot find two minimum, you have not analyzed. Can you remember them again? Let me know if you are reading your notes.
Think you check the trend now.
Followed by
The
what?
trend,
The outlier and the pattern, right?
the apply and the pattern, yes.
Good. And I told you that the trend is the highest occurring value. So
Mm.
in this case now, it will be the highest, the item type with the highest what? Generated what? Total profit. That will be our trend, right? And it
Yes.
will guide the organization when they want to reinvest their capital. Do you agree with me? Knowing the
Yes, sir.
highest and the
Mm.
least. So they will know how to invest what? Right. That is the essence of our being as data what? Analysts, to help them
Mm.
to make effective decisions through the insights we must have derived and presented. Now, you can see that before you can find the highest, it's going to take you a while. How do I know? Because you must compare this with this first, right? You will
Yes.
compare this with this. You will start comparing. It can take you 30 minutes or even thereabout looking for which one is the highest. That is why in data analysis, your analysis is not complete until you visualize it with a graph. Because graph will automatically bring out the trend, the highest, without you comparing one value to the other. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Good. So that will now, for me to identify my trend or pattern, I will select these two headings that generated the value, and then you click on this icon under it. Then you will
Mm.
see, sorry, when you highlight it, I was selecting the wrong icon. There are two icons there actually. The one under this one. Then click on it. It says quick analysis icon. Now, once you pick it, you go to chart. Then from chart, you come across different types of chart. Now, these values are much. I mean, they are just three. They are just three unique products. Then I will have used what? Pi. You understand?
Okay.
But where
Yes.
you have more value, you use graph like clustered, which is equivalent to what we are taught in school as bar chart and histogram
Okay.
chart. You understand? So I can
Yes.
use any of this, either vertical one or what? Horizontal. So peradventure, I want to see more of it. You click on what? More. And that will take you to exploring multiple. So you can go to all charts. Now, the reason why I came to all chart, because from all chart, I'll be able to have the one that have colors. You understand? Because the one we had there was just giving all the bars what? The same color. So I will
Okay.
click on this and then click OK. So with this, now remember that this is a dashboard. So you need to be mindful of how the analysis model are designing the dashboard. For example,
Mm.
now, if I place it here now, does it make sense like this? No.
No.
Good. So I need to maintain certain alignment. If I place it here, does it make sense? Compared to when
Mm.
it was here, just calculate it. Here is better, right?
Mm.
And I will make sure that it's not above the tabular report. So I'll make sure that I maintain and I'm leaving this space because later I will highlight this space and give it what? A fill color as a
Mm.
design. You understand? As a
Yes.
design in order to make this one stand out from this. So
Mm.
now you can see that you can easily detect your trend. Your trend is what? This one. And when you hover on it, is cosmetic. So cosmetic generated the highest what? Profit. Then followed by what? Followed by household, right? Then
Okay.
the least among them, from what I'm seeing here, I think is going to be this. That is what? Meat. But you can
Okay.
also point out in your report that you find out that meat and snacks they are competing. They are having almost the same. So those ones that are generating almost the same profit, you point them out. The company need to know. They
Yeah.
need to know all these things for them to make effective what? Decisions.
Efficient.
Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I want to pause for like 5 minutes and see you give me something like this first.
Mm.
So if you have question, you can ask.
Yeah. Item type. The item type. How did you select the item type?
How did I select the word? The
The item.
item type. How did I select the item type? Which of the item type? These ones,
Yes.
the one in the analysis table, right?
Yes.
So what I did is that I went to the data set itself and then I click on the first one. I did not click on the D. In fact, click on the item type heading, then hold down the control and the shift, then press the down arrow button, then control C, and then switch to your dashboard, specify where you want to paste it, then control V, and then before you go to data to select what? Remove duplicates. Do you understand it now? Is it clear now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so just continue. Please, it's just 5 minutes I gave you. Once it exceeds the 5 minutes, that means you take it as an assignment.
Hmm. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Minimum. Analysis and
Then you see it, look at it, very close to your own case is represented with an icon. Very close to where you have that arrow, that area you are, just go up, go up, go up. No, by your right, go to your right, go to your right, down, down, direct one under it. No, up, 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 up. The next one, good, that is it. So we need to take note of the icon representing them because sometimes the window will collapse it. Okay, so just hurry up. I think once we have removed this, I have to continue. What do you have there? I'm getting an error here. What error is it saying?
go back.
That is not it. Too.
Dash.
The next one.
Remove duplicate.
Okay, so click OK. Okay, so you have the data set you are working with. You have just three what? Unique products. You
Four.
understand? Okay, four of
It's
them,
four.
right? Okay, four of them.
Yes.
So I have to continue. So when I'm done, you complete it as part of your assignments. So you can stop sharing. I thought you'd be able to meet up with the 5 minutes I gave you. All right, so for the sake of Jane that is just joining, I know, Jane, you have done most of these things with me, so you should be able to go from where we are. So we have just performed statistical analysis using the sum if, which require just one criteria. And then we visualize it with graphs so that we can easily identify the trend and the pattern. But there are still some modification for better presentation and to enhance interpretation. Anytime you represent your insights with a graph, always make sure that you make it explanatory, you make it interpretable. Now, to do that, I'm going to detail this graph a little. So part of what I'm going to do, I'll give this graph a title. So I'll double click on this place that says what? Charts. Then highlight that text and type, this is a graph of, you are plotting item type against what? Total profit. So you can say item types slash, or you can just say against total profit. Then to make it also, remember I told us that when you are building your dashboard, the appearance of your metric matters a lot. So what I'm going to do is that I will increase or fine tune the appearance of that test. So I can go back to my home and leverage on my basic formatting feature. And I'm looking at the set of colors that I've used. Remember that we said we are using just one color. So I will change this from that to something different, so to look unique. And then this, I think I have to also change this color to this, and then I off the line color. So that the text actual appearance can come up. So you can click. I think we have done that. Now, the graph itself, I want to label the item and the value on the graph, because this legend that you are seeing here, these are like the key that will help the user to interpret. So looking at this color, you already know that this is the bar that it represents. Looking at this, you have already know that this is the bar that it represents. So if I delete the legend, my graph will look bigger. So just to have a more user-friendly interface, you can remove the legend, let them use this to, since we want to add the information directly on the bus. How do we achieve that? So that will take us to chart design. Now look up, if I step out from this graph, we are not going to see this and this. Just watch out. So it means that these features are only active when you are selecting your visualization graph. So if I go to chart design, then I will now see add chart element. So from this section, I will just go to data label. So these are different formats. You can see what is happening. This one is just to crest the value on them. But the challenge I have here is that I need to expand the graph. Otherwise, some values will be what? Touching each other based on how much the values are. So, and again, if I increase this, I may not have the design I'm having. So let's try increasing it and see. Let me just, so let's shuffle other ones and see whether we can have the one that will give us a better presentation. Look at this one. This one will point out the topic, that is the heading, that is total profit, instead of just displaying the value. So if you do not want to use this, just because the way the informations are packed, I think I prefer this one. So which means that the emphasis is just on the profit, so I can expand it. So this is the challenge you have. So, and expanding it is as if I'm allocating too much space for justice. So what I will do is that I can come to the layer here to redefine the layout. These are templates that has been pre-programmed by Excel. So I can check the one that will give me the better presentation. So I'm going, and then you check, and then you check. Right? So let's say, I think I prefer this one. Or what do you think? This one still make it look a little bit better than the way it was, without any value lapping each other.
This one is better.
Good. So now, after this, we have to also, if we feel that the background is distracting the values, we can enhance it by coloring it ourselves. Go to format, and then you choose shape fill so that you can give it a background color of your choice. Because if I choose from those templates are also changing the value placement. So I can just do it myself, but I want to go without white. So that is for the application of the sum if. So what I'm going to do is to expand this cell to balance it up. You know, initially we merge it to this point, but now this question consigns this and consigns this. So, and I will not want here, I'm trying to have a good design. So I'll go back to my home.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Yes.
The values on each item, can it be bolded? Can you bold it so that someone can actually see it?
Yes. Now, to bold the values, understand what you are saying now. So let's look at go for the formatting. The values, we can enhance them from home here. So I'm just looking at if the command is active based on the one we selected. But if you are not able to do it once there, you can, select them manually and use this to probably the color. I think it's the color that we choose. Let's say we are choosing full black. It will be more visible now. Now, we select this one, and then remember our format painter, and then I can just select this, and then just to make the work faster. So that is where you are not able to regulate it from the format. So you have to take them one after the other. I hope that is clear. So now I wanted to do something here. I hope that is clear, ma.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now I wanted to do something because I am conscious of the design of my dashboard. I am analyzing data. I am answering analysis question. At the same time, I'm using the outcome to form a dashboard design. That is how we reason. Now, initially, we meshed to this extent, but right now, this heading should also cover this analysis because this is a child of this. So I would like to make it more presentable by extending it to this length. So I'll go back there and merge again, merge again. Then I will just increase this so that it will spread across. I hope that is clear. So you can see that your presentation is more professional. Then I will now tap here. I'll tap here and then give it the same feel. All right. So, and then probably here, you can decide to give it maybe that grayscale, whatever, because I don't want to see the grid lines. So all of this is for you to form a design. Now, let's look at the next function. Remember, I brought out about 4 different functions, but because of the delay, we will continue from where we stop. On Monday, what is Monday time so that Jane can know? Madam, what is our Monday meeting time? Madam, what is our Monday meeting time? I want Mrs. Jane to know that time.
4:30 a.m.
4:30 a.m. to what time?
to Is it 4:30 a.m.? Is it to 5?
4:30 to
5.
5 is just 30 minutes. Is 1 hour. So is 5:30. Now, depending anyway. So let's know that the starting time is what? 4:30. Now, I want to answer one more question with the count if, so that in our next meeting, we just conclude with average if and what? The if function out of the 4 functions that we mentioned. I hope you are with me. So let's quickly look at the count if, and I'm designing my dashboard. So my count if we start from here. So I will leave this space. I'll leave this space to separate them. So the count if will start from here. So I will merge the whole of this just to write my count if question. So what is the definition? Let's look at the count if definition. Let's just write. So the count if is another Excel intermediate statistical function, is another Excel intermediate statistical function, also used for counting the numbers of time a value or an item appears on a given data set. Used to count the number of times an item or value appear in a given data set with one criteria. Remember that I told us that all these functions are only good when you are answering exploratory question that has to do with what? One criteria. So let me summarize that question here. So what is the analysis question? Now we are using this data set and our focus is on the total profit, the one we answer now, with the sum if was the summary of total profit against the item type. Now, in the case of count if, the question I want to answer is this. Let me come here. Now, just imagine as a data analyst, you have already informed the company that all the transaction on baby food generated this profit. All the transaction on Siri generated this. Now, the company wants to know before they conclude on their decision making, how many times customer purchased this, or how many transactions actually what generated this profit. Don't you think it's going to be a valid question? I want to hear from you.
Yes, it's a valid question.
Good. Because now they will not know whether the reason why this is higher than this or this is higher than this is because of the numbers of transactions that happen, or probably the worth of what they purchase. So now that will now lead to the question I'm going to put here. The question is that
Sorry,
what?
sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry for taking you back. If you
Okay.
look at this graph now, the item type is not showing, just like the values are showing. It's just the colors. Are you getting it?
Yes. Why I did not show it? Because you know they were there before.
Yes.
They were there before and I removed them. So if we want to add them now, what we are going to do is that we click on it and then go to what? That chart design. And then when you come to the chart design, we are supposed to look at, let me see which of the format we choose, because I know I choose one of the already made, because this already made has constraint. That is what? If you want to show, if you apply any of them, you are conditioned to use it, just like what have been programmed. So and even we want it to show, we will have still remain on that our raw one so that we can format the series. I don't know if you are getting me. So that we
Yes,
can
I'm
format the
getting you.
series. But I removed them that time because I needed this bar to be longer. You know, they were here
Mm,
that time, I removed them. But
mm,
if this is what you would do, this is what you do. If you still want them to show, then you go to that design, even though you are not showing them directly. When you come here, you will now select, you add this, you use this one, which says what?
mm,
Add a table. So that table
mm.
will give you a breakdown. I just hope that with primary key, sorry, that I've switched it to this, but so it will have been better for us not to choose any of this already made, so that it will be easier for us to, because if you click
Okay.
on this, when you are doing your own, or maybe the next one I'm going to do now, let me
Okay.
put it there so that we can understand it. Let me, because
Okay.
I'm still going to put graph there. So now I wanted to write the question. The question is, analyze the total number of transactions per those item type. So that is the question. Analyze total numbers of transaction per item type, per item types. So the same thing, you have to be unique with your formatting. So the way I formatted this, that is how I want to format this. But remember that it will discontinue here to separate it. So I'll click on this entire cell that I formatted, then click on this format painter and touch it. So you can see automatically. Now, the reason why it's bigger is that here I use what? I use a capital letter to type. I hope you are getting me. I use capital letter to type here, and then I use small letter. So you can as well make sure that they are the same. But because of time, let me just continue. So now we have pointed out the question. Now, since the question says that we are summarizing, we are counting based on this, we have copied this before. So what we do is that I will just come here and take this column only, Control C. I don't want to go to the data set, because if I go to the data set, I will start removing duplicates. So I will just highlight this, Control V, then I will expand it. Now, I will not change the description. Of course, the description cannot be the same thing here, total profit. Your description is going to be total counts. I hope you are still following. We'll also round up total what? Count.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, total count. So I also make it unique. Select this one, click here, and then click here. All right. Now, the function we are using now is the count if. So I will type the equals to as usual and then type count, and then you select the one that says what? Count if. Now, if you look at the syntax, the function structure is quite different from sum if. Sum if give us what? Yeah, we have range. We have range. I think it's the same. We have range, we have criteria. But here, we are going to work with just two arguments. When I say argument, is that, in the case of sum if, let me just paraphrase. In the case of sum if, after collecting the range where your criteria 1 is, we now pick the criteria before we now went to pick the range of the total profit, isn't it? That means we pick 3 what? Column. But in the case of counting, we are not going to do that. It's just 2 of them that we need. That is the range and the what? The criteria. So the range, like I explained before, the range is where the criteria value is, which is this. This is the criteria. That means the counting that we are performing right now is for only baby food. So the question is that which column, where do we have baby food mentioned in your data set? So that will now take all to the data set and reference this column. We click on the letter D so that if by tomorrow they enter more information, they will also what? Be analyzed. And then you put your comma. So after your comma, you will now go and pick the criteria. The criteria is what you have already mentioned here. So at the moment, we are analyzing for what? Baby food. And then I'll hit what? Enter. So I have 7 of them. Then I can now what? Double click here to analyze for order. Then remember what I told us, we must measure our trend, the pattern, and the outlier so that we can put our executive report together. So at the end of your analysis, each time you perform aggregate analysis, what do I mean? Analysis that you are comparing, you must point out in writing to that company that after your analysis, you discover that, like here now, 13 is the highest analysis, and the highest occurrence here. And you can see that both clothes and cosmetic has the same number of what? Transactions. This is a unique finding that you should also put in writing. That in the course of your analysis, you also discover that 2 items, you put them in brackets, you name them. 2 items, you put in bracket, clothes and cosmetic has the same number of what? Entries or transaction. Then, and also with the highest, not just the same. They are the one that have what? The highest. Then, like I told us that you must not just point out the highest, you must point out the least and the next. So followed by another 2 items having the same. Not 3 of them. 3 of them. We have fruit, we have household, we have personal care, having the next highest to be what? 10. Sorry, the next highest is 12, which is what? Office what? Supply. Then followed by what? These 3 that have the same value. And then you now point out in your writing that you also discover that what? Meat has the least number of transactions, which means what does it tell the company when they want to make their decision, when they want to reinvest their capital? You don't expect a reasonable company to go and invest most of their money in what? In meat again, isn't it? Because this analysis have shown that what? Meat is not
Telling.
But the company will also want you to tell them why are we having, because the difference between the meat value is too much compared to the highest 13. So you now look deep and bring out some recommendation. That is where recommendation comes in. At the end of each analysis, 2 things you have to present: observation and recommendation. But most time, recommendation may not arise because you can run analysis on your data and discover that all of them are doing well. It's just one different. There's no recommendation. Recommendation comes in when you discover that one is different from other, and the margin is too much. That is when you raise alarm as a data analyst. So you will not suggest that, because you are not there. You will not suggest recommendation. You suggest, you don't make them look like declaration that they must. So you position them like you are giving them advice. I hope you are with me,
Yes,
Jane. I
sir.
hope you are following. You
Yes,
position
so I'm
them.
following very well.
You position as if you are advising them. Then if they fail to hearken to your advice, and the next 6 months you come back to analyze this data and meet is not still performing, then they have no reason to blame you. So part of your suggestion should be you ask questions to suggest sometime if you see them physically. That after your analysis, you discover that meat is underperforming. And you are suggesting, you are recommending that companies should take urgent what? Action on this. Either they increase the promotion, that is marketing, if it was not well marketed, or they should review the method they are using to market it. They should review the demography. They should review the location, probably whether the products is not really required or needed by the people. Then if after you have suggested that and they said, we have done all this or that, then it is very obvious that what? That is not your market. So a reasonable company will not go and invest. So this analysis will help them to distribute their capital. That is the reason why we exist as data analysts. That's the reason why we exist. So you can see that a company that will have just put their hand in their account and pull out billions of naira and go to the market and start buying baby things anyhow, they will no longer do that, because your analysis will have what? Guided them. Now let's quickly look at the graph and then we end it there. Now, I told her before Jane joined that one of the reasons why we need to back up our tabular model, this is a tabular model. A tabular model is a data analysis insight presentation method with two-dimensional what? A structure, vertical and array. And I said that the challenge we have with this is that it makes it difficult for us to identify our trend and pattern. Here now, you can see the pattern. You can see I can measure the pattern between this and this by ruling a line here. Is it a regressive pattern or progressive pattern? Somebody should respond. Look at it. Between this and this, is it a regressive pattern or progressive pattern?
Regressive.
Then between this and this, is it a regressive or progressive?
Progressive.
Good. So you can record your pattern. Then what is the outlier? The outlier here. How do I mention my outlier? My outlier is you subtracting the lowest from the highest. So once you know the value for the lowest and the value for the highest, you deduct it. Then you tell them that what? This is the what? The outlier. Now, for us to easily find out if we are using table, we are going to be comparing one value with another. And we said that to make it easy for us to know our trend, we will now copy this. We'll have another presentation of it with graph. And that graph will bring out what? We enable us to know the highest, the least, and even the pattern, just like you are seeing here. But you know what? In building your dashboard, don't use the same graph, because you need to make sure that it looks designed. You have used this bar chart. The next one, I'll choose a different graph. All of this calculation is for me to have a dynamic and interactive and creative dashboard. So I said you highlight the two fields that are involved, the item type and the total count. And then you click on the icon under, not the first one, this one, that says what? Quick analysis. You can also get it by pressing Ctrl Q. So if I click on it, and then I can use what? Color bar. This is one method you can use. This is just like you have so many analyses up to the point that you don't have space to have a separate analysis with table and with what? Graph. You are trying to economize your space. So this is just like you integrating graph in that same table. What you can see here now, this graph has shown that what? 13 is the highest, the bar reading. So that is for that very one. But I'm still going with charts. And then from charts, I will select what? Scatter charts. All right. No, scatter chart sometimes is very is very difficult to interpret, but it look mature. For under data science, that is where we use this more. But let's see how we can. Remember, I told you that you can take advantage of this default or this template you have there, so long they align with the set of colors you are using, or you stay. So like what we are trying to do the other time, I can come here and say, okay, I want to choose data label. So you can see this one has display what? The value. This one displays the value. So what we are having here now, because of the type of graph that we are using. So I can go to what? Data more label. Now, from data more label, what do we have here? I'm looking at whether this particular graph will permit us to add this particular value, that like the question she asked the other time, or I will have to switch it. Before you can actually switch from here, then I can go to select data. Let me see if I can have what she asked. So I'm just trying to explore whether this model can enable us to have both the numbers written on the illustrators, or we can just have the value. So there is what we call series. That is what's supposed to bring out this. But let me see, explore the options I have here, if it's there. We have legend. We have legend. We have axis. So let me see if I choose horizontal axis. Okay. What will happen is that I think based on what is available, we can only write this. But mind you, you are also, if you hover on any of the points, okay, it's also showing us only the word, the number, but you can use your table because this is just like we are duplicating, depending on when probably we can rectify that. I will check, I will explore more options to see if I can, but I know that except if this particular one, but because of our time. So just give me this first, I'll look into it before the next class and see if I'm able to provide a solution. So you can see that I am trying to ensure that the length of this graph is the same thing with the table. It's an arrangement. And then the same thing I did here, I will highlight this space that I left and then give it what? That same color. You can see the way I'm working with unique color. Then I can select this and decide to say, okay, maybe I want to format the background color myself if I'm not okay with any of those defaults. So I can come here and choose any one that is the background if you feel that, but I'm going with this. I hope that is clear. So you can see that the dashboard is coming out. So your assignment is to give me exactly something like this. When the video gets to you, watch it and make sure that you give me something, if possible, better than this, because you have enough time to play around what you have learned. So that brings us to the end, because I have another class by 9. So that brings us to the end of this. Remember that in our next class, please take note of that. In our next class, we continue this intermediate function analysis with average if and if. Please write it down. We'll continue with average if and if. So we can still use those ones to perform a valid analysis question. All right. So please, we are trying to, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are trying to run some ads on Facebook. There's a program that because now we have a digital marketer. The company have employed someone that, if you are in any of our WhatsApp group, you notice that somebody is conducting a pool. I don't know whether we are even in that WhatsApp group. Are we all there?
I've not checked if I'm here.
Please.
No.
If you are not in our WhatsApp community group, we need to add us there, because that is where the digital marketer will be giving updates regarding to some free training that we want to organize, and also And in those free training, we will like sometime call on you, as if we are running for data analysis. Probably, I think I've spoken to Jane sometime, that you can just come up, and then within maybe 3 minutes, just share your experience, with Digital Zeal. So please, in case we call on you, but what we need right now in that group that you are, so we want you in comment, just write it as a test, because the ad now, there's a place where we need to put review, what are people that we have trained are saying about us. So the data marketer requested for it. So please, I want to get a review from both of us. Go to that group where you are. Just rate our training, what you can say about our training. Just say the way it is. Don't paint anything. If we are bad, say it that we are bad. If we are good, just give a general information regarding to what this platform is all about and how you have been either enjoying or not enjoying our classes. Please, if you can do it now, I will appreciate it, because I need to forward it to her. She wants to place the ad. I hope that is registered,
Okay.
please. Thank you so much. So see
Yes.
us on Monday. See us on Monday.
Okay. Thank you.